Hey there, part 5. I've finished the steeking, and again I will show that in a different video so you can actually see the process. The other thing I'd mentioned that the steeking reinforces the bottom of the sewn portion of the pleats, the fell, but it also keeps the cloth properly in line, because if it wasn't properly lined up here, when you're wearing the kilt you'd have a series of jagged edges as these loops hung down a little bit. So that's in place. Next stage is the canvas. And as I've described in one of my other videos, cloth behaves differently across its width and along its length. It stretches maybe 1.5 times to twice crossways than it does lengthwise. So when I'm using canvas for, let's call it structural purposes, I'm using it so it's correctly orientated. There's much less stretch this way than that way. So I've cut a piece to length. I measured it by, again, following the sweep around and then adding a couple of inches. I've tacked it in place on the inner apron, brought it across until it started to run off, as you see here. So I fold it, because I've seen, because this is structural. This takes all the tension of the straps and buckles. I've seen kilts, and I think I've posted an image of ones that have a narrow strip underneath that only goes from the buckle to buckle. It really doesn't accomplish anything. A, because it's just to the buckle and not to the strap, and B, because it's so very narrow. So instead of that, I have one wide piece of canvas, 5 inches wide, and as you can see, I'm folding it in place. I've seen these where somebody has actually cut darts so that it fits the radius, and it's exactly useless when you do it like that. The end of the canvas comes right up to the edge of the buttonhole. Now, as you can see, the buttonholes ever so slightly overlapped. The canvas is right up into it. And this is so that it's a slight improvement from the earlier ones where when you had the thing on there was a chance of seeing a shirt through the buttonhole even with the strap passing there. So the canvas is placed there. I tack the tartan cloth over top of it and I put in that last fold. And if you remember, I was using my little gauges to mark the width of each of the pleats. Each of these is exactly 2.5 inches long, which takes this first line in the middle of it, which is right at the center of the buckle line. So I can draw my reference marks for when I start doing a herringbone stitch for this, but you'll see that next time. Thank you.